Greetings and welcome back to Electric Avenue's YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. You guys, you happen to pop in on probably, I don't know, this has to be one of the top maybe 3 or 4 biggest release weeks of the year. That was not a record store day week, and that's next week. So I think they're really flooding the market with stuff to get you ready. So when you're in stores, not only are you going to have record store day items competing for your dollar, but there's some pretty amazing new releases as well. So this is a new release rundown. We're on November 18th, 2022. And I'm just going to hop in because I got to get prepared to be talking here for at least half an hour. So bear with me if I start getting a little hoarse. Yes. All right. Up first, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, World Record. This is a brand new Neil Young and Crazy Horse. The last one they did that was brand new, other than Toast, which came out in the summer, that was an unreleased album from about 20 years ago, made up of parts of other records. This one is actually new, and Barn would have been the last one, I guess, of those, which was a year ago. Neil's released, I don't know, 10, 12 albums this year, but this is an official, not only that, but it was produced by Rick Rubin and Neil, so that's the first for them. And boy, if you don't know your history about who Rick Rubin is, go check it out. But things like Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, that stuff wouldn't have happened without Rick Rubin the way it did. So anyway, this is a special color vinyl edition. I believe this is a clear. It's weird, it doesn't say anywhere on the outside which one is which. We'll have the color one on shelves first. I don't know why he did that, except it seems a little tricky. The only way you know is by looking at the barcode. Thanks for the info. All right, another big release now. I guess it's been a couple months now. We had a new King Gizzard album out called Omnium Gatherum, which actually had started streaming back in May, and it took several months to get the vinyl. There were 3 other new records that they put out. Changes, which is sort of out in the sort of retail landscape. I haven't seen too many copies of that. When I saw this one, I decided to pounce on it because this is a really great album for them. You can read the title there. This is Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and Lava. And these are 7 sort of long jams built on different scalar modes. And some are like major scales, whatever. And it's it's more jam bandy, I guess. I mean, Omnium was sort of like, you never know what you're going to get, which is great because it's very, like, fun that way. And this is like, just shows their talent for being able to make, long tracks. That's what it sort of, it's not wrapped. It just comes in a kind of a folder like that. Anyway, there's your songs there. So, that's exciting. Now, the only version we got was the black vinyl, so I don't know if there are other versions out there. I think there were, but these things have been incredibly difficult to get. I don't know if there's such a draw on them, or they're not making enough, or whatever, but anyway, keep that in mind. All right. New Jimi Hendrix, not new, but 1969, April 26th. Los Angeles Forum. So it's a live show. You can see there. This is Well, it says includes unseen photos and an essay by ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons. Complete performance, newly mixed by Eddie Kramer. This was pressed at quality. I think people are gonna really want this. It's got a good track listing too. You get Purple Haze, Foxy Lady, Voodoo Child, Sunshine of Your Love. That's kind of neat. All right. Also on this there's a lot of reissues actually. So Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and this is a deluxe 3 LP edition featuring the Beast over Hammersmith. Also, very heavy. 3 records, 8 remastered tracks featuring the intended track list with Total Eclipse for the first time on vinyl. Beast over Hammersmith. All right, there you go. So I think some Maiden fans are going to be looking for that. In the jazz realm, so there was this wonderful Bill Evans at Town Hall, Volume 1. You see it there. It's got such a glare. By Acoustic Sounds in Kansas. They pressed it. Verve is handling this. Also manufactured at QRP. And it has a tip-on gatefold jacket. Feels sort of heavyweight. They do such great work. So Bill Evans, there you go. So there were 2 Blue Note Classic series that come out Friday the 18th. And I only have one to show you right now. The other one is showing up, I believe, tomorrow. Hopefully in time for the release date. That one is by, if I say his name right, I believe it's Grachan Moncur. Gretchen Moncur III. That one actually has Lee Morgan on it, I believe. It's called Evolution, I think. This one is Andrew Hill, Point of Departure. This one has Kenny Dorham, Eric Dolphy, and Joe Henderson. I don't know how you could go any better with that trio there supporting. Also Richard Davis and Anthony Williams. So it's kind of a nice combo. Anyway, so that's one of 2 Blue Note classics. Another Blue Note that's coming out, which is separate from the series, but still a very important archival work, is Elvin Jones Revival at live at Pookie's Pub. And I don't know if that picture is really showing there. Yeah, I guess it's all right. Captured live 1967, July 28th through 30th. This is an unheard chapter from the drum icon, from what it says here on the sticker. And it has a 16-page insert with photos from Francis Wolff and others, new interviews with Alvin Queen, Dave Liebman, and many others, elaborate liner notes, and this is actually, because it's a 3 CD set, or 3 vinyl set, it's pretty heavy and it's not cheap. But, if you're into drumming, I think that this is probably, and jazz drumming in particular, you can sort of see from his picture there, he's a very animated drummer. Joe Farrell and Larry Young is featured on the piano on Gingerbread Boy. The rest of it is Billy Green and Wilbur Little on bass. They do like My Funny Valentine, and yeah. The last side is Oleo, which is a 16-minute track. So drummers, you might want to check that out if you have not. Before I go on to more vinyl, I just want to mention that we also got the new soundtrack to David Bowie, the Moon Age Daydream film that's been out in theaters. This is the CD edition. The vinyl doesn't come out, I believe, until early 2023. But the thing to know about this, if you look at the track listing, I'll hold it close. It's sort of like a hodgepodge mix of lots and lots of different songs. And it kind of reminds me so the movie is sort of a kind of a melange of different images from different periods. And the CD looks like it sort of plays almost like the soundtrack to the movie, in the way that songs are sort of like kind of mixed up. They almost look like they kind of run in and out of each other. There's like a couple medleys on here, so it has the look of like what the Beatles did with the Love album, where they sort of remixed a lot of stuff. So this is something that I definitely at least want to check out and hear how they handled that. It may be actually a literal soundtrack to the film. I'm not really sure. There's also the movie on DVD, and I have to kind of like give a little bit of a smackdown to the people who put this out. I guess I don't know if this is Live Nation or who, but HBO, because we can't carry the Blu-ray. We can only get the DVD. There is a Blu-ray, I believe, but it's probably exclusive to Walmart or Amazon or something like that. Anyway, kind of sucks. They also did that recently with another thing. Let me show while I'm here. The Michael Jackson 40. So this is the double CD of the 40th anniversary edition. And it's cool because the second CD has like 10 tracks, which are all either demos that are unreleased or songs that were maybe finished, but they didn't like them or didn't want to put them on the album for some reason. And again, the vinyl of that version, I don't know if it has all of those songs, but it's only available at like big box stores. And everybody seems to have their own version, except us. I was thinking while I'm showing you that, I should pull this out too, because this has been the source of many a controversy recently, and that's the mobile fidelity version of Thriller. These are not things that I'm going to have hanging around in the store much. If you want one, you really have to just say, hey, special order it for me, because they do sell for over $100. And yes, it's a Ultra Disc one-step pressing of this, but they do say analog master, analog console, but it does say DSD on the sticker, and that's something that that was the source of much consternation over the summer. Is, oh my god, are mobile fidelity mastering from analog or what? So all right, that's enough of that. Let me get back on track here with more new releases. I hope you're sitting back with your coffee, your beer, whatever you happen to be drinking, because this is going to be a lot longer than you thought. All right, so moving right along, Billy Strings. This one is called Me and Dad. It's the new Billy Strings. It looks very personal, a little bit more homey. That's a picture, I guess, of the back of his head. This is pressed on clear smoke vinyl. It's a limited edition. We also have a black smoke vinyl, and then there's a regular vinyl that's a little bit cheaper. So, and I think there's actually a color smoke vinyl too. I mean, there are so many different versions of this on vinyl. Collect them all, trade with your friends. What does he think he is? Does he think he's Taylor Swift? Did you get tickets to the show? All right. So anyway, I can kind of tell from some of these songs: Pear Tree, Little White Church, Wandering Boy, John Deere Tractor, I Heard My Mother Weeping. They're going to be pretty personal. So that's cool. All right. Another artist I'm really into, I think she's fantastic, and she's from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, of all places. Goes by her name's Natalie, I believe, but goes by the name Wyess Blood, Wyess, Weyes. It's kind of an odd name, I suppose, and the album is called And in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow. And she kind of wrote this while she was sort of in pandemic, as we all sort of were. And the first song is called It's Not Just Me, It's Everybody. I would say if you're into like really great singer-songwriters, she's sort of a mix of like, I don't know, her last record, Titanic Rising, it sort of reminded me of like if Karen Carpenter and like Lana Del Rey were merged into one person. Like she had a very kind of it wasn't like a bitter sort of look on the world, but it was a more advanced look than maybe Karen would have had. But that kind of a lower alto, beautiful, really rich tone. Anyway, I can't wait to hear this. I have not heard even, I think I heard one song. I did hear one song. It was great. So anyway, check out YS Blood. An album that I have heard that I was really impressed with, Panda Bear with Sonic Boom. This album is called Reset. If you are into Brian Wilson Beach Boys stuff, I'm talking like Smile or like that sort of later Pet Sounds kind of stuff, you might want to check this out. Um, Panda Bear, he's Animal Collective sort of related. I've kind of always sort of had like an affinity for the Beach Boys and stuff like that. But I think it really comes through on this. And for some reason, it's just the most direct sounding album that I think he's made. And there's a lot of loops and sort of like electronica stuff. So if you like electronic music, if you like sort of like easy listening psychedelic music for, a beach in the summer, which unfortunately you're going to be like, unless you're living in like Florida or something like that, you're probably going to be cold. But anyway, check out Panda Bear and Sonic Boom. Kind of a fun record. I have heard this too. St. Lucia's Utopia. This is sort of like, their stuff is very kind of yacht rock meets dance pop of the 80s, sort of. The lead people are a married couple. They now are living in Germany. But this is, I think, their fourth album now. It's very catchy. It's summery in a way, but it also is a very feel-good music, I think. So if you want something that can kind of lift your mood and it's sort of like a good time fun, lead singer is originally from South Africa. So there's kind of like a very rhythmic element to their music. Ringo, EP3. Well, he's been cranking out the EPs lately and, put 4 songs on a 10-inch. But if you're a Ringo fan, you need it. You're a collector, I would say at this point. As Ringo goes into his 80s. So arguably people's most favorite Beatle, right? I mean, there's only 2 living ones to choose from, right? I used to love this album. I'm so glad that it's out on vinyl. I wish it wasn't as expensive as it was. It's on blue vinyl, TV on the radio, Dear Science. Talk about an album that really smashed some boundaries regarding sort of like crossing races, genres, really great stuff. They'd had earlier records too, which are really good, but this was one of the sort of big ones that made them sort of known more widely. It's been a long time since they've done an album. I know Tunde was lending his voice to a lot of other records, but I'm not really sure what's going on with them. All I can hope is that this maybe makes it seem like there's new material on the way. I don't know why else they would be reissuing it right now, but this is kind of a fun presentation of John Fogerty's Blue Moon Swamp, done as a limited picture disc. If you like this record, I would say get it soon because it probably won't be around for very long. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that, for some reason, it was probably being talked about putting it on Record Store Day, and they just decided to release it widely the same day instead of being like putting it on a list like that. Sorry, I'm having trouble like breathing tonight. All right, it's my sinuses. They don't know what to do with all these changes in temperature. Kiss, Creatures of the Night. Well, what can be said? I mean, it's not like probably their most sought after record, but Half Speed Master or Half Speed Remaster. I mean, if you're a Kiss completist, a lot of people don't have this album, so they might be looking for it. And then I also should mention there's a double CD of this, and there's a crazy box set too. But the double CD is probably something that if you like them, you might want, because the second disc is demos, rarities, and outtakes. And then there's about 6 or 7 live tracks after that. So, there might be some stuff on there that you think, like, maybe it's better than what they actually released on the official album. Who knows? You wouldn't find out for me because I'm not a huge Kiss fan. I'll put that out there right now. I don't have anything against them. It's just not my thing. I think the problem is the first song I heard of theirs was Calling Dr. Love. It was on a K-Tel compilation when I was a kid. And it was the worst song on the entire K-Tel compilation. I mean, it was full of songs like, Heart of Glass by Blondie, and, oh man, Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot, I think, or something like Heartbreaker, maybe. I don't know. But there were other songs that I'm like, God, those songs are so much catchier. This one, I was like, can they write a catchy song? Terrible. Anyway, but people love them, and maybe that was not the good first impression to have. I don't know. XTC, Big Express, great album, much in need of a reissue and a remaster. And that's what's happened, is newly cut from masters, approved by Andy Partridge, and it's on 200-gram vinyl. Ooh, so, and those are like imports too. Also, reissue, Dolly Parton's Diamonds and Rhinestones. This is a greatest hits compilation. She just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's working on a rock album. She said she has 25 songs ready to go. Probably a lot of duets. This features pretty much all the songs that you'd want from her, I think, up to this point. So check that out. Supergrass, I Should Coco. Supergrass were sort of a Britpop band from the 90s. You would know this album mainly from the song All Right. In America, that song has been featured extremely heavily on commercials. We are young, we are free, we've got teeth nice and clean, da-da-da, feeling all right. That's that song. All right, so Supergrass, I Should Coco. This also has the song Caught by the Fuzz, another great song. They never really got big in the US, but they definitely have a following, I should say. So, Ice Nine Kills, it's a reissue. I believe this is on some kind of colored vinyl or something, but this is a 2014 album, I think. It's a date on the back, so on Fearless Records. All right, moving right along. Rolling Stones, Between the Buttons, and Aftermath. These records, I don't know if I've ever seen them be reissued on vinyl before, but Abco did them. I don't think they did anything really special to them. They probably just cleaned them up and repressed them. There's no mastering indication on the labels. So there's a whole series of Live in Austin, Texas that are coming out. And a lot of them have been on CD before. There's been Willie Nelson, David Byrne, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings. And this week we get Fats Domino. And we also get Widespread Panic. All right, but there are more to come, so be on the lookout for those. I should have put this with the Ice Nine Kills, the new Disturbed album. Yep, they're still doing it. Thinking of, they did Sound of Silence, right? The cover that the Simon and Garfunkel cover. This band is getting a lot of press, special interest with Endure. This record, I think officially might have come out a couple weeks ago, but it was impossible to get most places the week it came out. Sort of post-punk, dark. Believe it was female vocalist. I can't remember, but it had a very sort of like a dark and edgy sound to it. but in a good way. I think you might, if you like sort of gothy kind of stuff, or something that's a little like along the lines of like a harder Interpol mixed with like Portishead or something like that. It's not as hip hoppy as Portishead, but a couple of soundtracks here. A lot of people have been waiting for this on vinyl for a while. It's the Elvis soundtrack, the Baz Luhrmann movie that came out over the summer. This does feature, well, obviously Elvis, but Doja Cat, Eminem, Casey Musgraves, Stevie Nicks, and Chris Isaak do a duet. Elvis with Tame Impala, well, it's a remix. And there's a song with Jack White. So anyway, that's popular. Also, the Bodyguard soundtrack, Whitney Houston. I don't know, this hasn't been on vinyl probably since it came out in around, what, 89, 90? Yeah, 87, I think. Is that right? That says 87. Oh, that's one of the songs. 92. Sorry, 92 is when this came out. Obviously, I Will Always Love You. It has I Have Nothing, I'm Every Woman, Run to You, Queen of the Night. All of those were hits. And then a bunch of songs by other people, which makes it sort of an odd hodgepodge. Okay. I'm sorry, I told you this is going to be long. Royksop. So, I love this band. They're from Norway. There's number 1, number 2, and number 3. Hello, I'm here. Anyway, that band, it's basically a duo, a couple of really great electro DJ kind of guys. I say DJs, they're more like producers, really, and worked a lot with people like Robin. Anyway, they had said after their 2014 album that they were done. It was called The Inevitable End. They said they're not going to make any more, not going to release anymore. And so about a year ago, they put out Lost Songs, which was sort of like demos and things like that. And then they said, oh, we're going to start releasing new music again. And we got 3 albums over the summer, and then all 3 of them come out on the same day on vinyl. And they're not cheap because they're all imports, so you're going to spend over $100 if you're trying to get all 3 Royksop on vinyl. Which is like, and there's a box set version too, which I don't have, that comes with special packaging, and that one's even more expensive. So they sound great, but it's obviously like they've been holding this music back for a while, and all of a sudden it's like a floodgate. A couple of releases this week from Manchester Orchestra. There's a reissue of this album. It's called A Black Mile to the Surface. And I believe every time I see something like that, I go, I think that's on colored vinyl, but there's no sticker. The other Manchester Orchestra thing is Christmas Songs, Volume 1. And this is what it says it is. It's Christmas songs. Silent Night, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, White Christmas. All right, so getting a little more into the Christmas stuff now. Christmas with the Smithereens on vinyl. Yeah, so, I mean, it's Christmas songs. So if you were a Smithereens fan and you love them that much and you want to hear them doing Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight, Run Rudolph Run, I mean, it's probably a rockin' little album, I guess. Joss Stone, Merry Christmas Love. And I haven't heard anything from this yet, but she's a bluesy singer-songwriter kind of, but these are all traditional songs that she's doing on here. So a dual tone Christmas. So this is artists that were on Dual Tone Records. This was actually released in 2019, and this is some sort of reissued version, but again, no sticker. Features Lumineers, The Lone Bellow, Kathleen Edwards, Delta Spirit, Mountjoy, Amos Lee, among others. So, Kylie Minogue, Christmas album. So she does a lot of traditional stuff on here. I think this was a fairly like retro-y kind of sounding album. There's duets with Iggy Pop and James Corden. The Iggy Pop, they do Christmas Wrapping, the Waitress's song. The James Corden song is Only You, which is a song by Yaz, and I don't really think of that as a Christmas song, but it was probably a Christmas hit when it came out in England. Uh, and then Frank Sinatra, they do a duet of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is probably something like they just, you know, did what they did with Natalie Cole and her dad and put his vocals in there with it. But this isn't really a new release, but this version, this pressing is, they've done different limited pressings of this. This is one of my favorite Christmas albums ever. Cyndi Lauper, Merry Christmas, Have a Nice Life. And it's actually a really fun kind of poppy Christmas album. And then there's like very heartfelt songs. This came out in the early 90s originally, and she had just had a child. And so the songs that are sort of related to kids are very endearing. And then there's some really kind of fun songs too. Christmas Conga is hysterical. Minnie and Santa is just super funny and really sweet. And then a song like December Child is just beautiful. So I don't know. I put this on. I feel good. My version, I think that I got a year or two ago was on white vinyl. They call it like snow vinyl or something. This one is on red and white swirl candy cane vinyl. So, and they don't usually make these in very big numbers. So if you're interested, don't delay. Okay. This, I did not get the box set for this. Nor did I get the vinyl because I didn't know how many people were into this album, but this is a 2 CD version of Queen, The Miracle. And the second disc is The Miracle Sessions. So there's a lot of different takes and outtakes and things like that, different songs. But the last track on here is called Face It Alone, which they did actually put out on a limited 45 also. So if you're into Queen and you want to collect those things, don't delay because they didn't make a lot of them. Another couple of things on CD here that I didn't have on vinyl. The new Nickelback called Get Rollin'. All right. The new Kid Cudi called Intergalactic. This has not been put on vinyl yet. So if you're out there looking for it, you're going to be looking for a while. I have a feeling it's going to be next year. It says the 10th studio album, and it says something about watch the original animated series on Netflix. I think this did get very good reviews, actually. People were saying, oh, it's nice that Kid Cudi is sort of back on track, whatever that means. Kid Cudi fans would know. Estefan Family Christmas, Gloria Estefan. I think this might be her first Christmas album. Maybe there was another one and I forgot it. Probably because it's been like 20 or 30 years or so. I don't know. I mean, she's been around for a long time. Brockhampton, their new record. I don't know why I didn't put this next to Kid Cudi. This Brockhampton record. So those are the tracks on it. It's called The Family. They actually have another record that they're releasing online tonight. So I don't know when that CD is coming out, but I can't keep up with them. Betty Who is her new CD. I think it is on vinyl. I don't have that right now, but I could get that, I'm sure. It's called Big. She's from, I think, the DC or Baltimore area. So DC, I think. Trios, Charles Lloyd, Sacred Thread. This is available on vinyl, I believe, also. Zakir Hussain plays tabla and percussion on it. Says he does vocals too, so be aware of that. Vince Guaraldi trio, the jazz impressions of Black Orpheus. So we just got uh, the Charlie Brown Christmas album, uh, a deluxe CD of that with a bunch of extra stuff. There will be a CD box set of that as well. Plus, there was the vinyl edition of that, which was an expanded 2 LP remaster, and the millions of different color pressings of that. Now there's also this, which is also a double CD. And there will also be some kind of CD box set of this. I'm assuming there will be a vinyl edition of that, unless I've somehow missed that. I don't know how I would miss it. Well, I mean, there's hardly anything here to look at. Uh, Lorena McKennitt, Under a Winter's Moon, her latest and a holiday CD. It's based on traditional Dylan Thomas stuff, Child's Christmas in Wales, which is sort of a famous literary work. I was going to show you some record store day stuff today. I'm already at 36 minutes and my voice is giving out. You can tell I'm congested. I'm not sick, but it's like I'm getting tired. So I'm going to save most of the record store day stuff for next week. You'll get a record store day video and probably a new release video as well. Because it's just too much to do it all in one. Although I think the new release video might be shorter, so I may combine the two. But just as a teaser, taster, if you're a Cure fan, oh, it exists. Wish, finally on vinyl. Now, yes, it's a picture disc. I know some of you are already out there going, God damn it, why did they do that? I've gotten the other Cure picture discs from the previous record store days, and they actually sound pretty good. They're not as good as probably a black vinyl would be, but beggars can't be choosers. I said this last time how Wish was something I was encouraging, or this is Wish. With Wild Mood Swings, I encourage people to go ahead and buy it because I was like, yes, some of the others, like Blood Flowers, I think they did a black vinyl afterwards. But I'm like, you don't know if they're going to do that or not. And sometimes they might just pull the plug on some idea like that. And I don't remember seeing a black vinyl of Wild Mood Swings come out after the fact. The only time I've ever seen that is as an original. So I would not delay on getting your hands on a copy of Wish. This is one of the Cure's best later albums, later being post Disintegration. It's the first album that followed Disintegration. This is the one that features the big hit was Friday I'm in Love, but High was also kind of a big hit. It features the great song From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea. A Letter to Elise is a fantastic little single. Then you get stuff like To Wish Impossible Things, which is just gorgeous. End is pretty like haunting. Open is a part. If you're a Cure fan, you need this, okay? So, because I've never seen it before, all right? I've been in this store for almost 10 years now, and I've never seen that. So, we'll have a fair amount of those. It's not hundreds, but there will be a lot. So, I'm hoping that they at least stick around for a couple of days, but I don't know. They'll probably be gone the first day. So I'm just putting that out there, all right? So make your plans, get your coffee, get out early the day after that turkey. If the tryptophan hasn't put you to sleep. So, all right. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Look, I'm at 40 minutes. This is the longest video I've done in a long time. Maybe, well, not ever, but in a long time, maybe even over a year. So I told you there was a lot. I will see you within the next week, hopefully. Those of you in the area, come visit us for Record Store Day on Black Friday. If you don't want to wait that long and you see, I mean, there's plenty here that's like amazing stuff today. So, all right. Take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace. Safe travels.